with the Iran's leadership. On 29th May, the Deputy Prime Minister, Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar held meeting with the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio. Upon his return to Islamabad on 1st June, he held telephone conversations with the Foreign Minister of Iran, Abbas Araghchi, and other foreign ministers of the region, basically engaging on all issues associated with this crisis. Sequentially and following strong advocacy from Pakistan, the US and Israel engaged directly at the summit level on the late night, early morning of the 2nd June Pakistan time, this important telephone conversation at the summit level between US and Israel. And as a result, Israel and Lebanon agreed on a ceasefire, and this ceasefire was possible through the good offices of the United States. Despite the fragility of the situation on ground in Lebanon, particularly in South Lebanon, this was a positive development, and we hope that it will be lasting and will be implemented, particularly by Israel. This week, Lebanese Army Chief General Rodolphe Hakel visited Pakistan. He called on Pakistan's Chief of Army Staff and Chief of Defense Forces, Field Marshal Sayyid Asim Munir. You covered the readouts issued by the ISPR on this important development. Pakistan, along with and one important development which just happened late last night, and we just issued a press readout, was the telephone conversation between our Deputy Prime Minister and Foreign Minister, Senator Mohammad Ishaq Dar, with his Turkish counterpart, Mr. Hakan Fidan. So the two leaders discussed evolving regional situation and underscored importance of dialogue and restraint, and both expressed hope for an early understanding among all parties, which would contribute to peace and stability in the region. So, ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan, along with its partners, countries, partners in the region and beyond, continue to undertake constructive diplomatic engagements in supporting de-escalation, ceasefire, and broader pursuit of stability in the region. Our efforts in this regard continue, and indeed we are guided by the spirit of peace diplomacy, as very eloquently articulated by our Prime Minister in his statement, where he said that, quote unquote, "Let us continue to remain on path of peace and diplomacy, which have brighter prospects for success instead of violence and destruction," quote unquote, from the Prime Minister of Pakistan, His Excellency Mohammad Shahbaz Sharif. So I'll end the statement here and open the floor for question answers.
Thank you, sir. Amnali from Express 24/7. Sir, India's External Affairs Ministry has made statements regarding AJK situation, and their Indian media and also Indian leadership, they have also spoken about it. So what is your response on it?
Yes, we have seen those statements. We reject India's remarks in their entirety. It's untenable for a state like India, which has consistently denied the people of Jammu and Kashmir their right to self-determination, to claim concerns over the rights of Kashmiris. By making such remarks, India seeks to divert attention from the unresolved status of Jammu and Kashmir and its own abysmal record in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. We also reject any insinuation of the false equivalence between the situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and matters relating to Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir is an illegally annexed, internationally recognized disputed territory whose people have suffered systemic abuses under draconian laws and have been denied their rights, including the right to self-determination as affirmed by the relevant UN Security Council resolutions and as promised by the Indian founding fathers to the Kashmiri people. Situation in Azad Jammu and Kashmir, on the contrary, we are addressing issues arising within a democratic and constitutional framework. Any attempt to conflate the two is misleading and does not withstand objective scrutiny. If India sincerely believes that the wishes of the Kashmiri people on both sides of the line of control should prevail and their human rights should be upheld, it must uphold their right to self-determination and agree to holding a free and impartial plebiscite under UN auspices, in accordance with the relevant resolutions of the UN Security Council. Pakistan will continue to support the human rights of Kashmiris, including their inalienable right to self-determination of the people of Jammu and Kashmir, and we'll also support the peaceful resolution of this 8 decades-old disputes in accordance with international law, the relevant UN Security Council resolutions, and the wishes of and aspirations of the Kashmiri people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, spokesperson. Sticking to India, we've seen that the latest SIPRI yearbook has suggested that India might have altered its traditional nuclear posture by reportedly deploying around 12 nuclear warheads during peacetime, alongside indications of missile systems and a more operationally ready nuclear force. Does Pakistan view this as a destabilizing development for strategic stability in South Asia? Your comments on this? Thank you.
Yes, you are quoting from the report of SIPRI, Stockholm International Peace and Research Institute. We have seen the SIPRI report and their assessment regarding developments and deployments of nuclear capabilities of India, including the reported deployment of nuclear warheads. While we do not wish to endorse or lend credence to SIPRI's methodology, its findings nevertheless are not surprising. Pakistan is not surprised by these developments. These findings of SIPRI broadly corroborate concerns that Pakistan has consistently been raising regarding India's continued vertical proliferation. We also believe that open source estimates such as SIPRI may not fully reflect the actual scale of India's nuclear arsenal, which may actually be higher than the existing estimates. Let me just add that not just the nuclear warheads, Pakistan is also cognizant of developments in India's strategic capabilities, including canisterization of the missile systems, the expansion of sea-based nuclear-capable submarines, and the pursuit of increasingly longer range of intercontinental ballistic missile systems that go far beyond the India's periphery, neighborhood, or its legitimate defense needs. These developments enhance operational readiness, complicate crisis stability, and carry implications that extend beyond South Asia with grave consequences for international peace and security. Pakistan does not seek an arms race. We are not interested in arms race and matching warheads or arms and ammunitions by number. However, we remain mindful of the evolving security environment. We will continue to take measures essential for preserving strategic stability and deter any possible India's aggression. Pakistan urges the international community to closely monitor developments and deployments of India's nuclear arsenal that may affect strategic stability in South Asia and undermine peace and security at the regional and global levels. In this regard, the international community, particularly the suppliers of high technologies to India, should understand the implication of advanced technologies and emerging capabilities being incorporated into India's strategic posture with its grave international consequences as I mentioned, by the development of intercontinental ballistic missiles that threaten far beyond South Asia into the wider world. Thank you.
Sir, thank you. So late Tuesday, India's Minister for Water, C.R. Patel, told India's news agency ANI that it is certain not a single drop of water will go to Pakistan in coming years, and India actively working on it after directives of PM Modi, quite unquote. So what is your response on this?
Yes, we have seen this statement attributed to the Indian Water Resource Minister regarding the future flow of water to Pakistan. And as I've said previously, any attempt to block or substantially curtail water that is vital to livelihood, agriculture, and well-being of more than 250 million Pakistani would be a deeply irresponsible act and contrary to established international obligations concerning transboundary rivers and indeed India's own bilateral agreement with Pakistan. Pakistan firmly rejects any notion that water can be treated as a political tool or instrument of coercion or a weapon. Such actions would threaten not just regional peace and security of South Asia and beyond, and the responsibility of such threat to international peace and security would fall squarely on India's shoulder. Pakistan's rights and interests in respect of its water resources are non-negotiable. We will vigorously defend those rights through all available diplomatic, legal, political, economic, and other measures consistent with international law and the UN Charter. Any deliberate attempt to block water essential to Pakistan's survival and development would constitute an extremely grave act with far-reaching consequences. As stated by at the top leadership level by Pakistan, any such act would be treated with utmost seriousness and could possibly amount an act of war. Under Article 51 of the UN Charter, every state retains the inherent right to self-defense. Pakistan will take all necessary measures to safeguard its economy and its vital national interest and lives of its 250 million people. We call upon India to act responsibly, honor its international commitment, and refrain from statements and actions that could further escalate tensions in the region. Pakistan remains committed to safeguarding its interests, as I said, and we will closely monitor developments on the ground in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir and elsewhere from where these water resources emerge.
आपको बताएं कि तर्जुमान दफ्तर ख़ारजा ताहिर हुसैन अंद्राबी की हफ्तावार न्यूज़ ब्रीफिंग कहा कि दोनों रहनुमाओं ने खित्ते की ताज़ा तरीन सूरत हाल पर तबादला ख्याल किया। तमाम फरीक़ैन से जंगबंदी की पासदारी और मुज़ाकरात के ज़रिए तनाज़ात की हल की हिमायत करते हैं। आज़ाद कश्मीर से मुताल्लिक़ भारतीय बयानात को मुस्तरद भी करते हैं। भारत गैर जिम्मेदाराना बयानात से मकबूजा कश्मीर की सूरत हाल को तवज्जो हटाना चाहता है। कश्मीर आलमी सतह पर तस्लीम शुदा मुतनाज़ा ख़ित्ता है और अक़वाम मुत्तहिदा की सलामती कौंसिल की करारदादों में कश्मीर के अवाम से हक़ के खुद इरादियत का वादा किया है। आगे बढ़ते हुए आपको बताएं कि पंजाब भर में यकम से 10 मुहर्रम तक दफ़ा 144 नाफिज होगी। 9 और 10 मुहर्रम को डबल सवारी पर पाबंदी आयद कर दी गई। इसी पर